This is KMAX Medical Minute.
Well, this summer, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved a blood test to help detect colon and rectal cancer. It seems like a promising new way to screen people for this type of disease. Let's bring our medical expert, Dr. Samir Islam, to talk more about this. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Let's talk a little bit about, so many times we hear people putting off their colonoscopies because the procedure can be a little daunting, a little scary at times too. Now, this seems like a less invasive way of screening for the disease, doctor.
Oh yeah, it's a much less invasive way. So this new blood test detects about 80% of early colon cancer, which is remarkable. And not only that, you avoid some of the ickiness factor that people can have when it comes to a colonoscopy, taking the prep, the clean out and all that. It's a simple blood test, you take it, and about 80% of the time, we can find an early onset cancer.
So is this a good way to see if you might have a problem and then go in for a colonoscopy?
Absolutely. So if you have a positive test from this blood test, you do need a colonoscopy to see exactly what's going on and to find out why this blood test is there. Now, the other thing you have to keep in mind is that there's a 10% positive rate, meaning 10% of these tests will end up showing you actually don't have anything going on inside that colonoscopy. But either way, you will need a colonoscopy just to verify the blood test to see exactly if you have cancer or not.
And of course, colonoscopies are still the best way to detect a problem. We know that. And this is actually your specialty, so we're happy to talk to you about that. Tell us what a colonoscopy is and why it's really not that scary.
So colonoscopy by far is the gold standard to find precancerous polyps and to remove them at that time. So not only are we seeing what's going on, we can fix the issue at that time. And there are a lot of fears about the colonoscopy, the biggest fear being the ick factor with the prep, the clean out. Things have changed. They're a lot better. The clean out is not as intense, not as invasive, and you are asleep the whole time. It takes about 20 minutes. And by far, this is the most effective way to prevent colon cancer.
And I think when you think about the procedure, it's probably what scares us the most. We've also seen those commercials that have that home stool test. Is that another great way to start this screening process?
Absolutely. So if the person chooses not to proceed with a colonoscopy, the stool in a box test is a second line option when it comes to colon cancer. But irregardless, any screening is better than no screening. So whether it's a colonoscopy, the stool in a box, or the blood testing, as long as you get some sort of screening done, that's the most important thing.
I know you see patients all the time, Dr. Islam. Talk about the importance of catching this type of disease early.
So colon cancer is probably the most preventable cancer that's out there. It is the second leading cause of cancer death in the United States. In my opinion, it is a cancer that should not be there. By doing a screening test, especially colonoscopy, we have the capabilities to eliminate colon cancer by finding precancerous polyps before they become cancer. So anybody at the latest should at least get one colonoscopy at the age of 45. If you have a family history, you should do it sooner.